Why did you guys come over here?
They messed up. Welcome. Thank you for all being here to witness this sensational gathering we all have the privilege of overseeing with friends and their families alike. This day, while not rare in the sense of the numerous weddings occurring across the world, perhaps even at this moment, shines with the rarest warmth and admiration which you must try not to look too far for, or it might bump you in the face. Today we honor the union of true soulmates through and through, the best of friends being there together and nerding out together in their most natural way, and the most respect, love, and decency between two individuals I may have ever witnessed in my life. Today we observe Jeffrey Bronack Jr. and Samantha Davis engage in the union of sacred matrimony. Where do we start? I met Jeff my sophomore year of college. I would meet Sam in person several years later on a trip to New York with the gang. When we first met, I would see Jeff around and we would say what's up occasionally, and we quickly became good friends over a love of ping pong, which he had a $10,000 paddle, which everybody thought was crazy. Good vibes, and maybe a little party here or there. Jeff was someone who was really there for me in a way that only few people have been. And when he went off to state college, and I stayed at the local branch. Naturally, I wanted to do the same. We kept in touch. Over 10 years later, I'm lucky enough to have the same group of friends, and more so, feel extremely blessed that one of my closest friends has found someone that I know has his best interest at heart. It's really fascinating, isn't it? I'm talking about a blip of a moment where outcomes could be so many. A choice to say something to someone. A tiny inhale and a wall of courage. That's where it starts, and since has not ended. Toe shoes. It began with Sam's scorn for toe shoes. Sitting in a lecture one day, she looked down, and out of all things, they were the catalyst for what started a budding in-class friendship between two quirky individuals, one with a boyfriend, the other single. From that point forward, they were off like a steam engine without brakes, only the thick waft left for sight over the horizon. From deciding to get Duncan one day after class, with Sam's clear inability to work an umbrella, safety goggles were needed, to Jeff being so smitten he rode in the rain to see her, to many other hangouts including friend snuggles while watching movies. Sam wondered when Jeff would go ahead and ask her to be something more. There's a moment where you know when something is different. You hear a person speak long enough to know the sounds of great change. Just as doom casts its own foreshadowing, blissful enlightenment casts basking rays on new life. The moment I heard it, let me change the page here, came in the form of what I thought was a routine phone call from Jeff. Jeff called me on his way to or from Sam's. Not quite clear on what that was. It's so long ago now. And we were just talking like normal. I didn't know too much at the time about the situation, but he brought up this girl, and he told me what the weather forecast was, which it was a crazy thunderstorm, and he pedaled over to her house in the rain, and he didn't know what was going on with him. I knew something had changed. Only a lunatic or someone that cares a lot would do something like that and go out of their way. More details followed the next day on a follow-up phone call, and being on Team Jeff, Sam's eventual ex became public enemy number one to me. Probably was unwarranted, you know. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Of course, Jeff, being the charmer he is, didn't need any help. When he came back from a visit out to California to see me with Mr. Jeffrey Lanick, he made it official. There's a song by one of today's modern guitar heroes that has a line in it, which also happens to be the title of the song. It's called Friends, Lovers, or Nothing. While I was writing this Pulitzer Prize speech, it's a song that kept coming up to me even though the ideas seemed innately juxtaposed for the situation. Because the song goes on to say that there can only be one. Only one might be true for most. It's hard to find someone you can be friendly, honest, and also have a deep love for, because those things sometimes clash. These two, though, they take great pride in their friendship. They built it over an entire year and found out that they don't get tired of each other's company. They had an innumerable amount in common. Naturally, two great friends developed great feelings and preserved everything. Single people take notes, which is probably like me only here. So, see, if this artist was using Jeff and Sam inspiration, the song would have went something like "Nothing, friends, and then lovers," and finished with "We can be all, or we can be all but one." Please do me the favor of excusing the double negative, but they will never be nothing again. This is a forever story. That's what I get from that, at least. Getting to know Sam I've learned how kind, considerate, accommodating, and loyal she is, and it always felt like it was Jeff that came first. Sam has a purity to her and an ability to see the best in people that very few possess. As mentioned before, knowing that your friends are truly taken care of and by the right person, that brings so much gratitude and peace of mind. Jeff, we can't take care of you forever.
I got it, don't worry.
Over the years, they persevered through hard times, some not seeing each other due to work. While difficult, their love kept them going. Around the end of their 4th year, Jeff began talking to us about getting a ring to be engaged. There are very few things that I've ever heard Jeff sound so serious about. And then when the time came, it was at 5 years and 9 months. Jeff and Sam went off to a cute park to do some Pokemon Go, as they frequently do, or did. I don't know. There was a love sign, and it was for lovers. Jeff, being super nervous, got on his knee. He looked like he was trying to smell Sam's belly button. He was admittedly a bit too close. Sam knew, though, what was happening, and she jumped for joy and said yes. By the way, the pictures are great. Whoever took them, thank you.
Shout out to Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
MVP.
Today in front of you, they stand here almost 7.5 years strong. I hope I can speak for everyone when I say I feel sure that you guys have many more lucky sevens coming your way. For the incredible luck, or even your fate, of finding your soulmate is always worth fighting for and preserving. To Jeff and Sam. And now, please turn your attention to Jeffrey and Sam as they share their vows, which they wrote today for each other.
I got this. From the moment I met you, my life has never had a dull moment. You came into my life very uniquely. The chances of us meeting were so slim. We really did not have many ways for our cross the paths looking back, but somehow the stars aligned with a single sassy comment about my shoes. My awesome shoes, by the way. Our love had a chance to bloom. When you found me, I was definitely damaged goods, but you didn't waver at all. You showed me love and compassion. You showed me love and compassion to the point where all my fears and pains went away. Throughout our relationship, you've been my greatest source of laughs, of happiness, and trust. You've shown me what the word soulmate really means. Not only are you my partner, my fiance, my love, but you're my best friend. You prove your love to me every day, and your presence in my life makes me the luckiest person. I cannot wait to grow up with you. That being said, I would like to make some vows. I vow to always be your strength when you need a rock. I vow to take all your pain and share it so you do not have to shoulder the burden alone. I vow that I will always be there to refresh your cuddle meter when it's getting low. And I vow that I will love you until my dying day.
Well, now I have to follow that. I have pockets. You're all welcome for that knowledge. Ooh. We've faced a lot together in these last 7 years. Some of it was silly and lighthearted, and some of it was difficult and trying, but we always make it through because we tackle everything as partners. We always have each other's best interests at heart and face the world with our hands clasped tight. With that in mind, here are the things that I vow to you today. I vow to listen to and try to understand your feelings. I want you to remember that you can talk to me about anything. I may not always understand what you're talking about, especially when you talk about work, but I will always make time to listen and try to help you in any way that I can. I vow to make bad jokes and laugh at them so you remember how funny I am. But more importantly, I vow to laugh with you as much as possible. You are my best friend, and we have so much fun together. I vow to support your hopes and dreams. I know you can do anything you truly put your mind to. I love your passion and your intelligence, and I never want you to lose that or think that you can't accomplish anything. I vow to sing loudly and proudly with you in the car. Our shared love of music makes me so happy. The memories we have of long car rides blasting music and singing some of our favorites, especially our enthusiastic duets. And lastly, I vow to tell you that I love you as much as I can, because I do love you as I've never loved anyone. I love you in a way that people write about in songs or act out in movies. I love you with all of me, and I never want us to lose sight of how lucky we are to have that. I may not know what the future holds, but I can say with absolute certainty that we will not only survive, but thrive, because we have, without a doubt, the greatest team in the world.
And now next, we will perform the ritual of traditional Celtic hand fasting. If you have ever heard of tying the knot, this is literally what we do. Please, Jeffrey, Sam, look into each other's eyes and join hands. Will you honor and respect one another and seek to never break that honor?
We will. Sticky ribbons.
I pulled them too.
You were too good. You got this.
Will you share in each other's pain and seek to ease it?
No.
Will you share in the burdens that each of you carry?
No.
Will you share in each other's laughter and look for the brightness in life and the positive in each other?
No.
Will you approach each day with honesty, trust, and support?
We will.
All right. I know.
You got this.
Thank you. And will you love each other for all that you are, through the good times and the bad?
We will.
Please repeat after me. Come what may,
Come what may,
I will always be there.
I'll always be there.
As I have given you my hand to hold,
As I've given you my hand to hold,
so do I give
so do I give
you my life to keep.
You my life to keep.
And now, if you please type in that.
I'll put it in my pocket.
So many,
I got it. I got it. It's safe in
so many uses for pockets on a wedding dress.
Right?
So at this time, I would like to please have the rings come be presented to the bride and the groom. Let these rings symbolize the commitment you have made to each other today in front of your family and your friends. Let them remind you of the vows you have taken. But most importantly, let them represent that your partner will be there holding your hand no matter what. Please place the rings on each other's fingers.
Push.
If I was prepared, I would have brought WD-40. By the power vested in me by both Sam and Jeff, I now pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey and Sam Bronack. You may kiss the bride. So I just want everybody to know there is a reception in the backyard. There's food, there's drinks. Let's have a great time and celebrate.
Are we playing music?
She's working on it.
Oh, okay. She's working on it.
Keep going, right? Keep going.
Get those bubbles.
Okay, blow up.
Is it not working? That's okay.
Figure it out. Let's go.
Let's just go.
All right. Everyone go around Kathy. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry, I forgot to hang out. Keep going, Justin. You got it.
Coming. I know this isn't an ideal time to be in a crowd, and we're so happy to have all of you here. The other thing, very important, bathrooms this way. There's a sign on the door. You just skirt through here. Say hi on your way out. This is our table. Yeah, make sure you mark it occupied. There's a magnet system on the door. We don't want anybody to really get intimate with anyone today. That's, yeah. Yes. Did you have anything you wanted to say? Okay. So, if I could find my dad. There he is. So, I just wanted to let you know that I love you very much and I'm very happy you're here. And a shout out to my dad for building that fabulous thing that we got married under. He's very handy that way. And my mom. Where's my mom? Hi, Mom. Oh, I do have your mask in my pocket. I have a lot of things in my pocket. Thank you for everything you've done for us. You've really made this wedding happen, and we appreciate you a ton. Okay, now where's Val? Where? Oh, I didn't recognize you with the mask on. We love you so much, and I am overwhelmed by how much food we still have left over from yesterday. But thank you for everything you ever do for us, and we really appreciate and love you. Same to you, Dave. Sup? And Jeff and Lynn, thank you for everything that you do for us as well. We're so happy to have you, and I'm really just so happy I have all these new family members. And I always wanted siblings, and now I have like 1 million of them. I mean, they're okay. And now I'd like to invite my husband to the dance floor for our first dance.
So tired.
I'm back on the mic. You're welcome. Woo! Who needs a DJ when you have a bride who likes to talk? Nah, I'm very quiet. So now, first, I'd like to give an extra huge shout out to Justin and Gilly because they lent us their amazing house and allowed us to take over everything and let me boss them around and listen to me complain. And I complained sometimes, and I could never thank you enough for what you've done for us today. Why is there music playing? Why is that happening? Love you, Michael. Appreciate you. MVP. He set up the whole live stream and everything. Everybody should know and love. Everybody needs a Michael. We love you. So let's get started with some speeches. Can I invite my lovely maid and matron of honor to take this microphone so I stop talking? I'm not stepping on it this time. I checked that time. Also, we need to bustle my dress.
We'll do that right after this. Yeah. Sure. What? I'm on the other side.
Yeah, step 7. Let's go.
Okay. Nope.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Alina. I'm Sam's maid of honor. Hi. I'm going to try to make it through without crying. So let's see how this goes.
Hi, I'm Gilly. I live here. I'm the matron of honor. We are both her honorary sisters as well. Definitely not going to keep it together, but I will try very, very hard. Thank you all for being here today, whether it's in person or celebrating from a distance. Thank you again, Michael, for setting that up. We're so happy to be celebrating this day with you.
I became friends with Sam through our drawing and painting class. I'm already crying. So, drawing and painting class. It was there that we saw that we were very different personalities. Sam is bubbly, outgoing, and is never on time. Though she was on time for her wedding, but she was here. Her energy drew me to her, and I knew this was a friend that I wanted to keep. Little did I know we'd become... Don't cry. Okay. Beautiful. From then on, we became inseparable, and I basically started living at Sam's house. So shout out to Rita and the Millers for always welcoming me and accepting me as family. There were many Rosh Hashanah dinners that we celebrated even without Sam. And I think I narrowed the margin on becoming their favorite, but it's still close. Electoral College says I win. Actually, you win. As all younger siblings do, I followed Sam to Penn State to make sure she was making good decisions. Side note, she always makes good decisions. After all, she chose me as her friend, and she chose Jeff as her friend and then her boyfriend. My first encounter with Jeff involved something that I love, cookies. I remember meeting Jeff on his bike, where he brought me cookies for my birthday, and I decided then he was a good guy, and he had a good taste in cookies.
This heat is really nice. Sorry. Like Alina, Sam, and Jeff, I also made the good decision to go to Penn State, and I think many of us here did, right? Nobody answered. Awkward. Penn State! But thank God that I did, because if I didn't go to Penn State, I would not have met you, Sam, and that would have been insane. We met through the Penn State thespians, and we fell in love in what we affectionately call the costume dungeon, where we had a lot of Schwabo insanity happening. But there really was no getting to know you period with us, because Sam and I were basically meant to be friends from the beginning. I mean, seriously, everyone just kind of assumed that we've been friends for a lifetime, and I just gladly never corrected them. So there she was in her fully polka-dotted luggage, her adult coloring books. She had a thread hanging off of her head, which, by the way, is the best way to thread a needle if she hasn't taught you. How could I not want to be friends with that, right? So right away, I knew I could trust Sam to be there, whether it was when we lived together and she packed my lunch with adorable notes, or when she randomly bought me baby socks because she wanted to see me smile, which is just the most Sam thing in the entire world. With Sam, the good times really never stop. When I'm around her, I know that I'm going to be rolling on the floor laughing. She will be rolling with me. I will always be belting Brittany, and I'm just in love with the sleepovers. Our Quad Wizard sleepovers, obviously onesies required. And Sam is always the life of the party, you know, until she Irish goodbyes and goes to sleep. There are very few people who I truly believe could rival my love for Sam. But then came Jeff. This is where I lose it. Jeff and Sam were always meant to be together. And trust us, we knew that before they did.
Anytime Sam was around Jeff, or even just talking about him, we could see that he truly meant a lot to her. From the beginning, they've always understood each other and found ways to complement each other. What we love most about Jeff is that he always encouraged Sam to be unapologetically herself. Jeff compliments her quirkiness, brings out her laugh, and goes along with many of the bizarre adventures that Sam can drag one on, and we've all been there. Typically, in this part of the speech, this is where I would tell embarrassing stories about Sam. Instead, I'm going to let her do that on the dance floor, and I'm going to focus on the amazing parts of Sam. We've all been there to witness Sam's warmth, honesty, and support. Sam is literally the best human being. That is a fact. She's the person that you can call when you're driving and when you want someone to talk to, and then you can never hang up with. Mert.
She also leaves the most epic voicemails when you don't pick up because you can't talk. She has a talent. She literally always calls me on like the few times I can't talk during a pandemic. It's seriously a skill. But she knows she'll leave you a message that's going to make you smile or laugh when you hear it because she just thinks ahead like that. She's the friend that you go to for advice. You know you're going to get honest advice, but she's going to be supportive. She'll even tell you when you look fat in those jeans. She's the friend that you'd offer your house to without even thinking twice because you want to see her smile so that she can have her dream wedding. Sam is always up for anything, and she has a way of bringing people together. It's how we have our close friend group now, who are the Jam Besties, for those of you that don't know. Jam is Jeff and Sam. Super creative, I know. Sam knows how to collect great friends and create families among us. Shout out to those of us who could be here today. We see all of you, but we also see all of you who are on there virtually who couldn't be here today. None of us would have missed this for the world because we love Sam and Jeff so much. I know that we would all move mountains to see them happy.
The best quality Sam and Jeff share is their kindness. Just by being around Sam, you instantly get an aura of kindness and warmth. Strangers feel it too. They usually don't feel shy telling Sam their life story in Giant or Walmart or in some random parking lot. Jeff's kindness shows itself more quietly in the little things he does for Sam and for his friends and family. When I spoke to Rita earlier this week, she highlighted that quality in both of them. She told me story after story of all the things Jeff has done for Sam. So all the things that Jeff has done for Sam that have gone unnoticed by most, but they're not unrecognized. I'm holding it together, guys. It is this trait of kindness that makes her truly proud of Sam and the man that she's been calling a son for years now. Together, they really represent what love is. Cliche as it is, it's true, and we all know it. It is actually magical to see them together. And if you know me, you know that I know magic. Today we celebrate the greatest magic of all, love.
So everybody please join us in raising a glass to the incomparable, perfectly quirky Mr. and Mrs. Bronack.
We made it.
I only kind of cried.
I cried for both of us.
I don't know who this goes to next, but I want to hug you. Rory? Kyle?
I don't know where Kyle is. Thank you. Kyle! Oh, Kyle. Nice, bro. Hello, Kyle.
How's it going? I'm Kyle, the best man. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. So, as I said, I'm Jeff's best man. Fortunately, I wasn't his first choice tonight. No, his first choice was the smartest man he knew. And when we went out and asked him, he turned him down. So next, he went to the best looking man. He turned him down. So I thought, I'll ask the nicest person I know. And after turning him down twice, I finally said yes on the third. So, met Jeff probably when I was about 5 or 6, when I had a visitation, when I was going to visit my dad, and he brought me up. He's like, "Here, it's a new family, get to know them." And him and my brother looked at each other, and I think they just thought the word Pokemon, and they ran off and played video games for like 3 days straight. And then when he finally came out and started playing outside, I found out that he was also athletic, which I, myself being athletic, enjoyed because we sparked a sibling rivalry, which brought about numerous arguments on how he was cheating and I should have won. But as time went on, he grew up and became a teenager and got his own life and left me to the wayside. But once I became a teenager, he's like, "Hey, I have a great idea. Let's get Kyle drunk." That wasn't a good idea, as he lost a computer chair that night that I threw up all over. So, through the next few years, spent in a drunken haze with my brother, started getting closer, and then he moved away to State College, and the drunken haze nights became fewer in between. And eventually, I'm going down to visit him one weekend. He's talking about how he's talking to a new girl. Not much said, just he's talking to someone. I was like, "Oh, good for you. Find someone new." A few weeks later, a month later, I come back down. He's like, "Oh, good, you can meet my new girlfriend." So I'm all excited. I get down there. She's over the house. And we just hang out, have pizza for the night. They go up, retire to his bedroom. Because he had work in the morning. So I wake up, and she's like, "Hey, I got to run over to my apartment for some stuff. Would you like to come with me?" I was like, "All right, sure." You get to know the new girl. Thinking she's going to go over for some toiletries, maybe a toothbrush or something. And we get there, and she starts rummaging around through her craft supplies. And I forget what I said, but she's like, "Oh, no, I've been living over at Jeff's for weeks now." And it was at that moment that I realized that these two were going to be spending the rest of their lives together, and I would eventually be welcoming her to the family. That's about as far as I got. Yeah. What's that? Love you too, really. Sorry, that sucked. Drink so I could forget.
Aurora May.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
Yeah, probably.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aurora. I remember when I was little, Uncle Jeffrey used to pretend to be a dinosaur and let me ride on him. Then one day, he brought home a very pretty girl who came in singing and dancing with me, and I never wanted her to leave. Then I grew up, and it changed to Uncle Jeffrey teaching me how to play video games and bleeding on sides to teach me how to use my microscope. And Auntie Sam still singing and dancing, but also teaching me how to play the piano. I didn't get to choose Uncle Jeffrey to be my uncle, but I would every time. I'm happy that he was smart enough not to let Auntie Sam dance out of our lives. I didn't know that you were going to propose to her, but when you did, it was one of the happiest days of my life. Thank you for being my aunt and uncle.
Love you, baby girl.
Hey.
Hi. Mick, Jeff, would you like to come up here?
How am I supposed to follow that?
You go first or me?
No, you go first.
You're making me go first.
Yeah, I'm making you go first.
All right.
Mine's short.
Hold on, I gotta get this up there. Making sure it's all right. Okay, I have not rehearsed this at all, so we're gonna see how it goes. Ooh. So I'm gonna start off with a bit of a cliche. I apologize, please bear with me. The dictionary. The dictionary defines wedding as the forging of two metals with a hot torch. Hold on. That's not right. I think I Googled welding. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? That still works. You know why? Sam, you are a precious metal. You are a precious metal that Jeff has found, and the both of you forged together to create one of the most solid relationships that I've ever seen. Jeff is one of my oldest friends, and as I was writing things down to say right now, it dawned on me there was too many memories of our friendship to pick for this speech. I could have talked about middle school and all the times you spit on me, which sounds really weird out of context, I know. I apologize. Or the time I got lost at your house for a week playing World of Warcraft, and your mom was wondering if my mom knew where I was. She didn't. Or even the time I painted your fingernails while you were sleeping. And I learned not to mess with a sleeping Jeff.
No.
You don't do that. Those are all good memories, and there are many more. But I want to convey right now is that I'm glad we are friends. You are my best friend. You are too. You are an honorable man through and through, and I am thrilled our friendship has gone on this long. But more so than that, I'm very excited for you because today you got to marry this beautiful woman. And Sam, now it's your turn. Sam, I don't really remember the first night I met you, but that night was memorialized by a photo of me sleeping and cuddling a sandwich.
Oh, I still have that photo.
It's on her wall, so I'm pretty sure I made a good impression. But in all seriousness, Sam, I never had any doubts about you. You know when you meet a friend's new girlfriend or boyfriend, and people have this bad habit of yeah, they're great, but what's wrong with them? That was never the case with you. I lost my spot. Since day one, you have been the nicest, most wholehearted person I've ever met. You make time for everyone who needs it. And you love very strongly. You make Jeff extremely happy, and you have shown time and time again how much you care for him. You are his person and he's yours. And I think I speak for everyone here when I say we are all ecstatic that this day has finally arrived. I love you both, and I don't feel like I need to wish you a lifetime of happiness in marriage, because I already know that it will be exactly that. I love you guys. And now, the one and only, drum roll.
Me? What?
Jeffrey Lennon!
Thank you. Let me just get my cue cards here. Okay. So, when I first met Jeff, he was a bright kid, full possibilities, and I did my best to corrupt him. I feel like I've known I feel like I've known him all my life, with how many adventures we've gone on, whether that was going to lock-ins at TGP or climbing a parking lot from the inside out. No matter what we were doing, we always had a great time, though. I remember one time we went on a drive shortly after I got my license, and we got a little bit lost. So I was focusing on where to go, and he yells out, "Watch out for that car!" And I didn't see a car, so I was like, "Where?" And he responds by slapping my hood and being like, "Here!" So no matter what we were doing, I always thought I needed him in my life. Then he goes to college and meets this girl. The way he talked about her, I knew she meant a lot to him. So I drove out to State College to meet her. And I don't remember much about the first time we met. Sorry, and thank you, State College. But I do remember the excitement on Jeff's face to have these parts of his life collide. You know, there was a time where Jeff looked at me the same way he looked at Sam. But as time went on, I learned how accepting and welcoming Sam was, even though I may surprise her by being in her living room without her knowing. Sorry about that. But I'm positive about the relationship has been the inspiration for many love stories. They're a bunch of nerds in love, and it's adorable. Now this brings us to today. I'm incredibly happy and proud of the people they've become. They've shown us all what happens when you let love win. I hope they know I will always be there for them as they have been for me. And let's be real here, Jeff and Sam have been married for years now. I came up with this stupid thing as I was listening to sappy music, and we're just gonna let it sing. So, life is chaos, made up of moments, some big, some small, swirling all around us. And what we do with those moments are what matter. And that's what I love about Jeff and Sam. They take the time to hold on to those moments and make them matter. And that's how I know they'll last forever. Here's to Sam, may they reign forever.
Ignore my blanket. I'm a little chilly. So Kyle and I have prepared a little surprise for Jeff. While he's getting set up, I'm going to ramble, which is what I'm very good at. So a couple years ago, I heard this song on the radio, and I couldn't remember what it was called or who it was by, which was really frustrating later when I was trying to tell Jeff about it. But all I remember is that every single word of it was exactly how I felt about our relationship. And eventually I did learn what it was and who it was by, which is good. And it's by Rachel Platten, and she's awesome if you don't listen to her. Unless you don't like really girly music, then don't listen to it. But I may not always be the most emotional person when I talk, but it's something about singing just is an easier way to express myself. So I wanted to include that today for you. And hopefully I don't cry. But we'll see. Yes, you probably will, honey, and I love you for it. So bear with us while we get this set up, because we've been hiding this all day. I know, I'm like all kinds of tangled and everything. This is a lot of dress. Not that that's surprising for me. Yeah, I'm good. What? My shoes? I'm wearing sneakers. Yay! Thank God, because it is still kind of muddy out. Oh, wait, Michael, this one's on top of this. Thank you, honey. You good? What? Yes. I have been practicing. Michael, do we have your approval? Okay. Again, MVP Michael. As good as I'll ever be. I'm a little nervous. I'll tell the world, I'll sing a song. It's a better place since you came along. Since you came along. Your touch is sunlight through the trees. Your kisses are the ocean breeze. Everything's alright when you're with me. And I
favorite thing. I own the happiness you bring, and it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. I see the whole world in your eyes. It's like I've known you all my life. It just feels so right. So I pour my heart into your hands. It's like you really understand. You love the way I am, and I own my favorite thing. I own the love that you bring, and it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again, and the sun paints the sky and the wind sings our song. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. Ooh, everything's alright, 'cause it feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you came along. Also, shout out to Kyle for following me. We didn't get a chance to actually practice. Yeah, Kyle! Ooh, cow! So, let's eat.
Sweet 16 today. looking like her mama, a little more every day. One part mama, the other part girl. To perfume and makeup, from ribbons and curls, trying her wings out in a great big world. But I remember butterfly kisses at the bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. You know how much I love you, Daddy, but if you don't worry, I'm only gonna kiss you on the cheek this time. Oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right. Deserve your love every morning and butterfly kisses at she'll change her name to me. She'll make a promise and I'll give her away. Standing in the dining room, just staring. She asked me what I'm thinking, and I said I'm not sure. I just feel like I'm losing my baby. She didn't know gave me butterfly kisses with her arms there, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. Walk me down the aisle, Daddy, it's just about time, 'cause I'm running down with a pretty Daddy. Daddy, don't cry, oh, with all that I've done wrong, I must have done something right. To deserve your love every morning and butterfly kisses. I couldn't ask God for more. Man, this is what love is. I know I've got to let her go, but I'll always remember every hold in the morning and butterfly kisses. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was around. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now that I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go, our lives are better left to chance. I could have I might have changed it all. And now that I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our life better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the pain. Yes, my life is better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance.
All right, now I would like to introduce everybody to our DJ for the night, DJ Shuffle. So there may be good songs to dance to. There may be songs where we just stand around like, who the hell decided to play this?
They were mostly requests for the record.
Yes, a lot of these songs were requests, so if something weird comes up, blame someone.
And there's also board games if you don't want to dance. There's a lot of different board games on the table. So if the shuffle gets weird, I don't need a microphone. Let's be real here. Okay, here we go. Let's see. It's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, break it down.
I would like to dance this one with Rory.
Thank you.
Always belong to someone else. I drove for miles and miles and wound up at your door. I've had you so many times, but somehow I want more. I don't mind standing every day. I know you're caught in the pouring rain. Looks on the girl with the broken smile. That's when she wants to stay around. She will be loved. She will be loved. Tap on my